Good evening, everybody. It's Brett Glover with Real Life Trading, bringing you a stock review, something to keep on your watch list here over the next couple of weeks. With the pullback in the marketplace here, I don't think anybody's really ready to necessarily dive into anything real quickly. And so this is one that I'm not sure how long it's going to take to play out. Could be a week, could be a month. It just kind of depends. But I'm looking at Anthem here, ANTM. And so if we scroll over to the weekly chart, I mean, you can see that we are in a nice uptrend. We have been for a little while. We've got great moving averages, and we recently broke out, and we're kind of forming a little bit of a bull flag pattern here. Some people call it the Nessie pattern because it does look like Nessie from the Loch Ness. And dropping back to the daily chart, I'm going to just turn off some of the smaller moving averages here real quick. And you can see we are kind of consolidating between our 100 and 200 SMA. And what caught my attention about this one was really the wave counts. And I use waves in a very basic way. And what caught my attention was this gap that we had out in this retest here and this flag pattern. So as I kind of walk back through the wave structure a little bit, I believe we made wave one here, wave two down, and we are in wave three on a larger scale right now. And I say that because we had a nice push out, came down, and then gapped out. And so you could even get as granular if you wanted to, like I did a little bit here, of within this wave three structure, counting the waves that should be there. And of course, this would be our 1, 2, 3, right? You can see this nice public participation phase. If you can find that wave three in a larger wave three, that's a really strong pattern. The wave four is going to be this bull flag consolidation. We should have a push for wave five, which should bring us to the end of our larger wave three, right about 456.40. And so again, turning the moving averages back on, that's just a little bit of the chart structure that I like to look at. And so if we zoom in here a little bit more, you can see that we made a nice high here, came back down, and we formed a nice lower trend line with 4 touch points, and we have 3 in the top. And so just kind of a brief look at this, you might consider this kind of a B, C, D, hopefully if we get up here, kind of come back down and retrace before a push out. And that's what I would like to see ideally, is for price to come up, touch this upper trend line again, have price reject off of it, and come back and retest. And again, like we did back here, looking at these smaller waves, right? As we came up, we rejected off this trend line, came back down, had a nice morning star, then we gapped out for wave three to begin, right? Same thing that I'm going to be looking for here. I want this to be kind of considered a wave, smaller wave one. Wave two is going to pull back, usually between your 0.5 and 0.618 retracement. And then as we make the turn, a nice reversal candle here or a strong gap to begin wave three to give us our push out, which should hopefully take us up to this 456 area. So if I were to draw that out, what would that look like? And as you can see too, we did test the 8 EMA on a monthly chart, kind of came back, we've been bouncing right along that. And so what would that look like to me? I would say, grab our S curve here. I can get price to come up just like this. So this is what I'm going to be watching for: price to come up, come back down, and start to move out. Now you can see today as well, with everything selling off, Anthem held up pretty well, all things considered. So what I like to do too is just kind of get somewhat of an estimation of where that might hit. And then I will take my fib tool here and I will draw from the low to where I think the high could be. I'm going to lock that into place. And so what I would be expecting is, if we come up and touch this trend line, wherever that may be, somewhere right around here, I want to see price come back right down into this kind of 0.5, 0.618 area right here. And so what I'm going to do, drop this just like that. We're going to lock that in. I'm going to call that my optimal buy point. So we can get rid of this fib now. And so that's kind of what I'm going to be looking for. So once we touch up here, that's going to be my trigger. Hey, start paying attention for price to come back down. If we throw on the smaller moving averages now as well, which are 8, our 21, and our 50 SMA, you can also see our 8 is under the 21, but we are starting to cross here, but we have rejected off of this 50 here multiple times, which just tells me that, things just aren't ready yet. It still needs to consolidate a little bit more. So we came up, rejected off the 50, failed the 50, consolidated, failed the 50, made a nice push down, which told me, hey, this could be that wave's C on this corrective pattern. And then we kind of turned the corner, starting to come back up. In addition, this is exactly what I like to see, is my indication that, we've consolidated enough is when we get into this TTM squeeze. And again, that's where the Bollinger Bands are within the Keltner channels. That's a whole nother video. But essentially, price is compressed, consolidated, and it's going to break out one way or the other, be it up or down. I happen to think it's going up. We've got rising momentum. I believe on the weekly chart as well, we do have a squeeze. And momentum is on the downside, though it is starting to turn up, as you can see here. The last time we had a squeeze that fired off, these red dots, we were consolidating right within this area. The squeeze fired, we get that nice public participation push up. Same thing here, we had the squeeze. We're consolidating in this pattern. The squeeze fires, we push right out of the formation, came back down, retested, squeeze, pushed out again. And so that's my hope of what happens on Anthem here over the next couple of weeks. So keep this one on your radar. I think it does have some good prospects to it. And again, I appreciate the time today. If you have any questions, certainly reach out in the room, and happy trading. Thanks.